Hey Collective, it's Al and welcome back to the channel. I actually wanted to just jump on and give you guys a quick message about something really spectacular that happened today. And it speaks to always being present in every moment of every day. And what it was something as simple as my stomach had started hurting without getting too graphic. And so I had to head home randomly. So I was on a bus heading back down to where I live and to the apartment. And as I'm on the bus, I am observing everything like I normally do, and I watched as the bus driver on the 207, I believe it was, heading south, did something very, very gentlemanly like, and I thought I'd share it with you so that we could speak of he, that energy, that essence of the divine that lives in all men, women, and children, right? And what it was is there was an elderly woman who got on the bus who wanted to sit in the front, but there were already two wheelchairs. And so she was in her cane, and so she was trying to walk and put the cane in a separate spot and then stand. And he got up out of the bus driver's seat and said, "No, ma'am, no, I can't let you do that here." And he gave her his arm, and he walked her all the way back to an empty seat that someone got up and gave her. And now I'm all the way in the back observing this. And he literally didn't hesitate, didn't worry about this whole thing going on. He gentlemanly walked her back, like at a coronation, at some sort of cotillion. And he sat her down. She said, "Thank you." He asked her what bus stop she was getting off at. She told him in Spanish. And then he looked directly at me, even though I was all the way in the back of the bus. And he said, "What does that mean?" And I told him what it meant. And so he smiled and he said, "Okay." And so then he got back in his seat. And I thought, well, isn't that a true gentleman? Isn't that the epitome of what we want all men to be and act like? And I just thought I'd share that with you all, that it was an extraordinary moment that I was present for because I was present in my day-to-day activity. So not even, I say about a stop later, older Hispanic woman got on the bus, probably not older, she's about 50 maybe, with a very young, what I would say about 14-year-old girl. And I look at her and she's carrying a baby stroller. And I look at her and I'm just like, well, where's the baby? And I realize that she's carrying the baby. So it's a baby, a sweet pea having a baby. And out of nowhere, I hear in my head the divine, or my higher self specifically, say to me, "What do you think of sweet pea having a baby?" And I said, well, I guess that baby is destined to be here. I guess the baby really wants to come. That is a destined baby. And so then, without getting all into a political and all this religious bullshit conversation, the interesting part is that I had an inner dialogue about, all of the different choices that women have about whether they have children or not, and all of the different complications and whatnot. And I just wanted to share with you something that the divine mentioned to me. It was phrased like this: what do you suppose happens if a soul is new to the human experience and chickens out at the last minute and doesn't want to be here? And I thought about it for a minute, and I go, I guess then they would be miscarried. And the divine says, yeah, there are no accidents in our world. And so I asked about the abortion issue, and he said, there are no accidents in this world. Sometimes energy just wants to understand what it's like to be incubated, in order to get an understanding of it, just to understand a little bit of life. It might be the first time around. So the woman in that situation would know intuitively that that baby wasn't meant to be here. But that is between you and your higher power. But all of this happened when I was just present on a bus ride, watching and observing. And instead of judging the little 14-year-old girl for having a baby at such a young age, I realized in the moment what a blessing it was to see her woman up and carry this child to term. And you could see the weight and the strain on her mother's face, and the looks that she got from some of the gentlemen around her, like, like looking down at her. And I did the opposite. I spoke her name, and just referencing her now. When we speak of he, when we speak of she, that is the energy of creation itself. And instead of passing judgment on either of them, I thanked him. Now, interestingly, as I'm getting off the bus, right, like 10 minutes later, a guy ran in front of the bus because I guess he was tired of waiting in his car. He was in such a hurry. He was the hurry guy, if you guys remember the last video. Go ahead, Mr. Speedy Guy. Another one of those. And so the bus driver politely honked because he wasn't moving at the red light. So then the guy turned off his car and tries to get into a fight with this wonderful gentleman. And I just sat there and I thought to myself, I'm like, see, sometimes no good deed goes unpunished. And I thought about it and I go, well, I bet you there's going to be blessings. And I heard the divine say in my head, oh, yes. Sometimes what you see in the world and what you take for granted in every day is the essence of human beings and the essence of life itself. And when you are there to celebrate that joy, then anything that happens around that moment is also witnessed by something higher than yourself. And so just think how blessed that man, that bus driver is going to be, and how blessed that baby that's about to be will be. That is what creation's about, and that is what our soul's journey is about. Don't ever miss the opportunity to do what I do, which is take off the headphones, observe your surroundings, be present every moment, and catch those gems that land at your feet. They're worth more than gold, and they raise your vibration in a way that nothing can dampen it. It made my day. It made my life. It made my rush to get home secondary to the beauty that I was watching about humanity taking care of other humans. That is what we talk about during this time when everybody's all about themselves. Everybody's worried about their own health. And here we are worried about looking at two individuals. One who is a gentleman and helped an elderly lady, as you should, as we should. And then a young girl who decided for herself to carry a baby. That's just the lessons I wanted to share with you guys here on Altruistic Channels. I hope you guys have a wonderfully blessed evening and enjoy your weekend.